Oh my God, guys. Today's my last day. So much to catch up on, so much to talk about. But yeah, today's my last day, so let's get into it. Okay, guys, so yeah, today was my last day, or yesterday was my last day because I work night shift and it's the next day. But, anyways, last night was my last day. I know I told you guys there's so many things has happened in the last 5 days that I have to catch you up. So last week, Thursday, I was my last shift last week and I was in trauma again. Shit was crazy again, as usual. But my issue last Thursday was it wasn't just like trauma, it was like the main ER. The main ER was crazy. Triage was crazy. We were so understaffed. And on top of that, a nurse left during our shift. So it became bad to worse. I did not feel like the charge nurse cared about the functionality and how to make it work. If anything, nothing changed the fact that we were understaffed. If anything, what they did was give people extra patience. So when I signed up for this assignment, the thing said 1 to 3, which I knew that was a lie. So, but I expected 1 to 4, maybe 1 to 5. So when I got here, it is 1 to 4 for the main ER. But trauma, like I told you, is like 1 to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, whatever the hell comes through with one nurse. So that night it was 1 to 5. So people weren't happy about that. They refused to shut down areas, even though they didn't have the staff. They had sections in the ER that did not have nurses. Like, it was just so chaotic and unsafe for the patients and for the nursing staff. It was just not a good situation. And I'm just so frustrated because this hospital, they don't send out incentive for you to pick up extra shift. It makes no difference for me because the travel nurses don't get the incentive, but their staff nurses could come in to help if they got the incentive to come in to help, and they don't even do that. So that happened. I was very frustrated that night. No help whatsoever, which is fine. I never expected to get any help anyways. So that happened. The very next day, I messaged my recruiter. I said, hey, I'm not going back. Like, I don't want to go back. Wait, rewind. Sorry. Before that, because like I said, that was my last day that week. So that was Thursday. No, I'm sorry. That was Wednesday. Thursday, I was pissed. I was like livid. Thursday morning, I woke up and I was like, you know what? I don't need to do this. I don't want to jeopardize my license. I'm put in very unsafe situations. This 1 to 8 plus patients is just ridiculous. So I was like, you know what? Let me not risk my career. For what? Like, I honestly, why would I do this to myself? So I messaged Aya, my recruiter for Aya, and I saw that they were hiring at one of the hospitals that I worked at when I was a phlebotomist. And then there's another hospital that is close to where I'm living right now. So I applied for both of them, and I was like, you know what? Let's see what's up. If anything, if they come back, then I'll be able to leave. If not, then it is what it is. You know, I'll I'll just end the contract, because next week I was going to start a new job regardless. My per diem job starts Monday, and today is today's Thursday, and my per diem job starts Monday. So even if I end my contract right now, I still have a job. It's not like I don't have no job. I still have a job. So I was like, you know what? I don't need to be stressing myself about this. I don't need to be putting myself in these situations. So I applied to the 2 jobs. And so I applied to the 2 jobs on Thursday. On Friday, I get a call. My recruiter put in the application immediately. And Friday, I got a call from one of the hospitals. So for those of you who've never had like a travel nursing, what would I say? A travel nursing interview. There you go. It's never really an interview. It's more of they tell you what the ER is like, what the clothes they wear, the nurse to patient ratio, what to expect. And then they ask you, do you have any questions? And then my only request was I wanted to work day shift. I did put day or night, but preferably days. And she did ask me, and I told her I wanted to do day shift. I'll be working 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. because I feel like I kind of want to transition into completely day shift. I've been doing night shift for so many years, but day shift obviously is more functional for everyday life stuff. So I'm trying to transition into day shift. So they gave me 9 to 9, which I feel like is so good. I can mentally prepare myself to go to 7 to 7, but I need to start small. I was doing 11 to 11. Now we're doing 9 to 9. And then if I can function, I'll do 7 to 7. But anyways, I did that. She's like, okay, I'm gonna send the information to your recruiter. And if you have no questions, then we'll see you there. And I was like, oh, okay, thank you, blah, blah, blah. That literally conversation was like no more than 2 minutes. My recruiter called, he got the contract, I signed the contract. So part of this information is that this will be my very first local travel nursing assignment that I've ever taken. This hospital is literally like, I think 5 or 10 minutes from my home. So I'm literally doing local travel nursing. So I obviously do not qualify for the stipends and the meals. So this is just a flat rate and everything is going to be taxed. This is going to be a whole new experience for me. I will let you guys know because I have no idea how much this taxes is about to be, how my paychecks are about to look. And you know, I'm very transparent. So with that being said, this local travel nursing contract is $62 per hour. My per diem job that I already took, like I said, start Monday, is $64 per hour. So today I'm like, oh, maybe I should have just stayed with the per diem and then just do that full time, because the hospital I'm going to work, I know they always need staffing, like 90% of these hospitals. But that hospital, I didn't necessarily want to be there full time. So that's why I took this contract also. And I also wanted the two jobs. So like I said, I wanted to compare. I'm trying to give you guys all these information, and I'm trying to get this information too, so I know what's beneficial and what's not beneficial to do, because people don't talk about these things. So I will definitely let you know how much money I get per diem for working 1 shift, 2 shift, 3 shift. And then the same with just having a regular contract. And if you wanted to do a contract and per diem, how much money can you make in total? So, and obviously this all depends on the location you're at. I'm happy with the $62. Because at the end of the day, I still always, for me, I always go back to, especially with local, let's say the positive for local travel nursing is that I'm always comparing it to how much a staff nurse would normally get. And I know when I actually became a nurse, new grad nurse, just graduated nursing school, that hospital that I'm about to go to, they did offer me a position, and that position paid $28. So it's obviously I have 3 years of experience now, and I wouldn't be getting $28, but I don't think I'll be getting more than 32. The only positive that I did know about that hospital is that their night shift differential was more than most, but I don't remember what it was. And at the end of the day, I know for a fact I wasn't going to be getting $40 an hour. It wasn't going to happen as a staff nurse. And right now, as a travel nurse in that hospital, I'm getting $62. So I ain't complaining. I think it's a positive. So it is what it is. So back to the story. Sorry, I'm rambling. So back to the story. So I got the offer, signed the contract. Remember, I did sign another contract with Trusted Health, and this contract was in Pennsylvania. This contract also was more money than my current contract, but I did weigh the pros and cons, and that contract is 3 hours away. I personally do not want to be driving because I do have the per diem job, and my plan is to work 1 day a week, at least for the rest of the year kind of thing, and kind of see how it goes. But I would have to be coming back to Maryland every week, and that is a 3-hour drive. So I really did not want to do that. I didn't really want to. I'm thinking about how much money would I be spending on a hotel every single week or on the Airbnb every single week. My Airbnb experience in that area was not great because the area, it's very up in the mountains. The reception was horrendous. That it was the most negative and only negative thing I actually had about that assignment is the reception in the area for my Airbnbs was horrendous. So the only time I actually had great reception was when I was at a hotel. And you know, that in itself is a thing. So I didn't want to do the hotels, and then I weighed the pros and cons, and I was like, okay, well, if I'm spending about $300 to $600 a week, if not more, for a hotel, because it all depends on how they schedule me. They could schedule me 3 days in a row, 2 days on, 1 day off. Like, I really don't know until you get there and they give you your schedule. So I'm like, maybe I might be working a 6-day stretch, which would be nice because then you get like 5-7 days off. But at the same time, there's positives and negatives. But if I'm going to be in a hotel for a whole week, I could be spending about $600 to $800. Who knows? So I'm like, okay, that's $600 to $800 I would be taking out of my paycheck every week to pay for this hotel. With that being said, that's like, so I'm predicting that my paycheck would be about $2,600. That's what I'm thinking it would be per week. That's because that's how much I was getting at that assignment. And even though this new contract had been $4 less, I would get about $2,500 to $2,600 a week. So I'm like, well, if I'm already going to be spending about $600, that's $600 out of my paycheck. So technically, I'm really going to be getting like $2,000, maybe $1,800 on to actually use does not have to do with hotel Airbnb. So I'm like, okay, this is what my paycheck is going to look like. What would happen if I got a local contract? So then I did that math, and I estimate that I'll be making, which I don't know if I'm right, we're going to find out, but I estimate I'll be making about $1,700 after taxes. So I'm like, almost the same, not really the same, but I feel like I can function with $1,700 a week. That is not bad to me. So I decided that I was gonna do the local travel contract, and I canceled the Pennsylvania contract. So boil it down, I am doing a local contract. I quit the current job that I'm at. I did give them a week notice. So this week was my week notice. I had 3 shifts, and last night was my last night, and I was out of there. I did get a call. So if you're wondering, what are your repercussions to ending your contract early? It all depends on the agency, and it depends on the hospital. So I did receive an email stating that if I end my contract early, I would be non-rehirable for the company. I am perfectly okay with that, because they do not care if I have to get my license revoked because some shit happens in the hospital that is unsafe. They don't care about that. So I'd rather be safe. And I'm not going back to that situation. Like, I would be boo-boo the fool to be going back to 9, 12 patients when I know for a fact that situation is not about to change anytime soon, honestly, because they do not have the staff that has trauma. That is the problem. They don't have staff that can do trauma. So all the travel nurses are the ones that do the traumas. And then at the same time, even though they hire, so I got hired with 4 other travel nurses, and three out of the 4, including myself, is gone. And we all started together. And 3 of us have not even finished our contract because it's bullshit. Like, the one nurse that was, she literally came to the hospital because it's a trauma hospital. She's a flight nurse, and they did not put her in trauma. They put me in trauma every single day. And I'm annoyed because at one way, I get it. It's a compliment. I can obviously do my job, but I should not be the only one in trauma every single freaking day. It's so funny because someone yesterday said to me, "Oh, Chantal, I thought trauma was your favorite because you're there all the time." It's not by choice. It's not by choice. So, yeah. So one nurse left. She quit because they refused to put her in trauma. For what reason, I don't really know. They didn't put her in trauma. Another nurse, he quit last week, but honestly, I feel like that's because it was his first travel nursing was his first travel nursing contract. And that hospital is definitely not a hospital that you want to be at your first contract. No, like, it's, that one is literally sink or swim, and you will sink if you're not experienced. And I'm gonna say this: if you do not have the experience of traumas, do not go to a trauma center. For me, it wasn't that I couldn't do my job. Obviously, I did my job pretty well because that's the only place they would put me. But the issue for me is it's not safe. And I don't know if you guys experience this, but why are the ones that are good at their job punished more than the ones that aren't? Because I know for a fact, if you suck at trauma, they're not going to want you over there. So they're going to request someone who is good. But I suffer because I'm the only one over there. Like, it's a whole ordeal. That's not nice. It's a whole ordeal. Like, she agrees. So, conclusion, I quit my job and we're doing local travel nursing because it ain't worth it. Like, honestly, don't risk your license for some nonsense. Don't. And for me, it's also that, like, I don't feel like the patient care that I want to provide, I'm not able to provide it properly because I'm literally like a task maker. Like, I'm just trying to get to the next thing. And you know, it just frustrates me. One of the things I love about being a trauma nurse is the fact that I am the liaison between the patient and the family. I love the fact that I can give them that peace of mind to update them. People don't do that. Update patients when, well, they don't update the patient's family members when situations like traumas are going on because you're so focused on the trauma, which makes sense. But you know, you got to have empathy. And when there are 8, 10 patients, I don't even get the opportunity to provide that comfort to the family members because I literally cannot leave. Like, it's so frustrating. And then I can't even help the patient out getting family members in because I literally cannot leave. So it's just like, it's frustrating because I genuinely loved it, but I didn't love it enough to suffer. Like, honestly, I love the fact that I had a good rapport. Is that the word? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Maybe I am. I don't know. But I had a great relationship with the trauma surgeons, the trauma PAs, the trauma nurse practitioners, the techs. Like, I had a great relationship with them and I enjoyed working over there. I just don't enjoy having 8 patients that are critical. Like, make it make sense, please, because it don't. So that's the update. Sorry, I'm like a little heated because I really wanted to make this video, and I'm like, God, like I'm telling you, every single day I was praying, just get me through this. And I wanted to call off every single day. But I was like, I'm not going to call off. I'm just going to show up. I'm going to do my job and I'm going to leave. That's the one thing I've never done at the end of the contract, which apparently is a thing. Like people call off on their last day. But I'm like, you know, I actually want to say bye to people because I did enjoy my coworkers for the most part. I feel like, let's say 90% of the workers there I enjoyed working with. You know, obviously you're not going to get along with every single person, but 90% is a decent amount. Like for me to not hate working with people. I genuinely enjoyed myself. I just don't enjoy the nonsensicalness of how the system run. Like it just didn't make sense. And my frustrating part is that like I'm also not the type of person to just complain. If I'm complaining, I'm giving you a solution. So even though I'm like, can we do it like this? And other people are complaining, but also giving solutions. Can we start redirection this? The answer is no. Just suffer. Let's just pray we get proper staffing. Yeah, no. So we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So that's where we're at. I will be making another video because I do want to update you guys on how much money I've saved, what I've been able to save, how much money I've made so far as a travel nurse this year, because as you know, my goal was 300,000, was keyword there. So a lot has happened, and I'm going to keep you guys updated because you know how I am. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching and welcome as usual. I didn't say that in the beginning, but welcome to my channel and have a wonderful and blessed day. I will see you guys soon.